What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Nani, a podcast where we discuss all things anime and anime world right there. I'm your host, Knuckles, aka Laser and Video Games, and come at you with another season review of an anime. And today we're going to be talking about Windbreaker Season 2, my overall thoughts about it. Pretty much a rundown of what I like throughout this season. Might talk to you about my dislikes here or there. And if y'all didn't watch last night's video of me and Ralph, we were live right there. Probably should advertise somewhere because that doesn't have a lot of views on that one. But we talked about the first half of Fire Force Season 3. And I will be posting some clips on TikTok, on obviously YouTube Shorts, and some on Instagram as well too. But trying to spoil, stuff for my friends that have not seen Fire Force first half of Season 3 right there. But last today, we're talking about Windbreaker Season 2. Now, last year, me and Lou did the Season 1 thoughts overall, and I think I gotta give a shout out to Lou. She told me about this anime right there, watching Windbreaker. What's funny is that I'm probably, open up some old wounds. Not also open up some old wounds right there, but like repeated myself of my first time seeing Windbreaker is the fact that I was like animes of April of 2024, and I saw the picture of this one character. I'm like, okay, this character looks pretty cool. They just told, oh, it's called Windbreaker. I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen this character before. Let me go ahead and watch it. And they say that Windbreaker is the better version of Tokyo Revengers, because basically like they share some similarities right there. Now I have not watched Tokyo Revengers, so I can't really speak on that right there. But like Lou was saying that she liked Windbreaker a lot more than Tokyo Revengers. But as I said, we're gonna be talking about season 2, and I enjoyed season 1. And I was looking forward to seeing season 2. Now I didn't watch a trailer. Nowadays, I kind of don't like to watch trailers of anime because I feel as though sometimes they might expose too much right there. Now, it probably is important for me to see what it's about. But honestly, I'll just say this. I feel as though, like, I just read articles talking about the trailer because, you know what? I just kind of want to go into it blind right there. Now, heading into the season, I would say my expectations are I feel as though Sakura's going to be with some growing pains as becoming a leader. And I've been saying this throughout the season 2 that, Sakura's going to be going through some growing pains right there. And immediately, that's what happened in season 2. And I was hoping to see, like, we'll see more of the Four Kings. And, Tsubaki, I would say I was definitely looking forward to seeing him the most because let's keep it a buck. Tsubaki stands out more because guy, woman's clothing right there. He's gonna be standing out right there. So I'm like, okay, I'm interested to see this character, right? But before we get into that, we really start with, their fight against Neo. And big gang ass fight right there. Like I thought that was really, really cool. And see, some of his Sakura subordinates, get busy as well. Now, forgot the people's names right there, that they're fighting for because, they're trying to help this one guy's friend because, he owed Neo a whole lot of money right there. But I gotta say, man, that fight at the start was very cool. And I always, admire Windbreaker's fights because everybody has like a different type of fighting style. And like I'm not the biggest fight nerd out there. I can't tell like what fight movie this is and shit like that. But like here's how some of Windbreaker's opponents are Hayato's more of a defensive guy. You have the one guy that's a wrestler. Saga's more of the striker right there with his legs and everything right there. But like Paul's, but like I can't really I just admire how each of their fighting styles are different. But like I said, I can't tell you the name of it and how they fight. But it's like I just know of how they fight. It's just different. It's not to say that in other animes other people fight the same. But like when you have an anime where it's like strictly fighting, no power up moves, no energy blasts and shit like that. It's just straight kung fu fighting right there, UFC type of shit right there. You admire how a lot of their fighting styles are different. Now, one of the first things we see in Sakura in a fight is like he loses focus, right? Now you do have it. What's his name? No, let me see. Let me see. Okay, so I was right. So you have Neri, and I did talk about this last season where I'm like, okay, Neri doesn't really do much. Yes, he's very knowledgeable on knowing situation, knowing the people, the crew, or their backstories and everything. But it's like, is there gonna be a moment where Neri wants to fight, right? And he saw in the first episode where it's like, everyone's always protecting me right there. I'm feeling useless right now. I gotta try and do something, right? Now he tries, to fight for himself because he feels as though he's holding the team back, and he tries to fight them, but immediately he gets hit. Sakura, loses focus right there, and it's like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of the first where Sakura just looked puzzled in the fight, because even though we've only seen one season, when he's fighting somebody, he is in the zone right there, like, he got no worries about anything, right? But, like, it's one of the first when you see, like, Sakura be like, oh shit, oh no, what's going on right now? Like, it just looked bad. It was like the guy that he was fighting at first, let's keep it a buck, you know what I'm saying? Like, this guy was easy work right there. But the fact that Sakura still focused on somebody else right there and other things, he just couldn't fight the guy in front of him. Now, remember they're outnumbered, but Renkaji and his crew, helped out and helped everybody out. So this day came and the numbers start turning in their favor, right? And Renkaji had to tell him, you're too busy focusing on this one guy. You're not focusing on the guy that's in front of you right there. You're too busy saying, "Oh, that guy's mine right there." You need to focus on who's in front of you right there. It's like, yo, you're right, man. Like, as soon as Sakura woke up, that guy had no chance. What was also pretty interesting is that I talked about this before in the previous video, is that Hayato, right? This is Sakura to tell Hayato, "Yo, chill. The guy's defeated, right?" I'm pretty sure Hayato said, normally you'd be, up for, finishing this guy off. Pause, right? But, like, the fact that Hayato was, like, in another, he was not his chill, happy self right there. He was, like, on that scary, like, yo, I'm gonna kill somebody right there. Like, that was a little bit scary, right? And I feel as though maybe they might touch back on season 3, because we didn't really know too much about Hayato. I mean, granted, we don't know a whole lot about these other characters, right? But it's like, we don't know too much of the backstory. But Hayato, I want to know more about his backstory. Like I said, I like him, but like, he looked like he was getting ready to kill somebody right there. Like I said, even the one guy from the first season was scared of this guy. So I'm just like, dang, Hayato, what you got holding back right there? What you got in your backstory right there? Like, he looked pretty scary in that. Now, I did like the seeing Kaji fight for the first against that leader Neo. And we all know when Kaji, like, when he loses control, he's a monster. He'll kill anybody he sees right there. The one guy was trying to, like, get that guy out, but unfortunately for him, it didn't work, because Kaji, he was getting close to that. He was getting close. He was getting close, but eventually, he was able to, defeat this one guy. Now, as I said before, Sakura is going through some growing pains. I'm going to say this 10 times. He even felt bad. It's like, yo, I didn't do enough to help you guys throughout this mission, right? It was just bad. Like, he's, beating himself up. And, we all know that, Sakura lost everything that's all right there. He doesn't like to rely on people, especially when we know his backstory, right? We all know Sakura, was made fun of. No one liked him right there. So, having two different color eyes, two different color hairs right there. Like, when he was sick, when people were, caring for him, giving him food and shit like that, he was like saying, no, I can do this on my own right there. Like, I don't need anybody's help. Even the one girl was like, you need people to rely on you. You rely on other people right there. It can't all just be you, right? And so you have, Sakura and Kaji having that conversation, right? Kaji pretty much told him, like, you don't like to rely on other people. You don't like to, because like I said, if you don't like, yeah, you don't have to rely on other people right there, because it's only you, because you're afraid of failing. Because you're afraid of failing right there. You don't want the other people to, like, oh, let me say something real fast. Sorry, I'm just having a tiring day right now. It's crazy, but yeah, he's afraid to rely on other people. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, he never relied on anybody. It's always just himself. It's always just himself right there. And pretty much Kaji's telling him, like, you need to open up and, don't be afraid of letting people help you right there. You know what I'm saying? And it was funny when Yume actually saw those two talking and kind of just punches the shit out of the guy right there. Like, just punches the hell out of him, right? And also, what I like more about the scene is the fact that, we actually see Sakura smile. In a good way. He was just laughing, was hanging out with his crew, they said something funny right there. Like I said, like, he apologized to everybody. He apologized to everybody, but it's like, yo, bro, like, you're the reason why we follow you, bro. You're the reason why we're here. You're the reason why everyone else is safe right now. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, it might not be perfect, but like, you're our leader right there. We willing to, if you're gonna go to darkness, we'll go in the dark city right there. Like, we got your back. Like, we got your back right there. And like I said, it's all new for Sakura. Because I said, when you have people, treat you like shit, and you have people treating you like good, it's like, what the hell's going on right there? You're confused. You're like, nah, this can't be real. This can't be real. Like, no, why? Nothing, right? But like I said, I like the fact that he was hanging out with them. He was laughing, having a good time, and I really enjoyed that right there. Like I said, like that was great to see. Like, I really was like very very happy for him. Like, sure, he's not gonna admit right there. It's like, I ain't laughing, but it was still good to see, right? And then so we introduced to our other fourth king member, Sabaki. The guy that dresses as a girl, right? And it's like, okay, pretty decent character right there. And even Kanji treated him with complete respect right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, not treating me there because, he's a guy wearing Go's clothing right there. Pretty much, he accepted for who he is, right? And so, okay. So, Tatsuki, right? The episode about his backstory, this got a whole lot of dislikes on Crunchyroll. And I'm pretty sure there's all on a news article about it as well. Man, because, as a young kid, he was trying on ladies' lipstick, trying on ladies' accessories and everything, all that type of stuff, right? And so, in the world right now, they don't like the fact that a little kid is like trying on women's clothes right there. Like, he's not being a man, right? He's being like they're brainwashing him and shit like that. It's fucked up, right? That's what they're saying. But here is my thing about the situation, right? About Tatsuki, right? When he was younger. It's not like anybody was forcing him to like all these girls stuff, right? He saw it himself. He saw what the girls were wearing right there. And it's not like he was hanging out with them. He saw the lipstick, he saw the earrings, he saw like all the makeup that all these girls were doing, right? He was intrigued by that. Nobody was influencing him at all. Like, he saw, so he even seen in magazines and everything, right? Like, no one was telling him, hey, like, because normally when someone influences somebody, it's like they might like it, but it's mainly that person's that person's hobbies. It's not your hobby. It's like they're forcing their hobbies onto you right there, right? You're kind of thinking you're kind of thinking for yourself. But Tatsuku, he liked that stuff. Like, nobody was influencing him. Nobody was influencing him on that stuff. Like, he liked it on his own right there. Like, it always intrigued him. So I feel as though that's everything. Having somebody like, hey, what? Wear this stuff right there. This is what I was wearing right there. You'll like this stuff, right? No, that's all on him. He liked it for himself right there. I feel as though that's the important moment right there. And then I guess, man, maybe people are turned off when the one lady put his lipstick on him, and he's like, kind of like, I want to be normal, but like, the couple is saying there's no such thing as normal. Do what makes you happy, and that's what made Tatsuko happy. He liked the makeup. He liked lips. He liked all the girl stuff right there. He liked the girl accessory right there. He liked it on his own. Nobody influenced him to like it. Anything. That was just him. Even guys say, "Oh, why would guys like that stuff? That's just for girls and shit like that." No, like I said, nobody was telling him to wear this stuff. Nobody was telling him to put this on right there. Like, he wanted himself right there. That's what he liked, and that's who he was. That's what made Tatsuku the person that he is today right there. And I respect that. I mean, I appreciate that, honestly. As I said, he's not faking. And like I said, this whole Red Pill community is kind of the reason why I would say people didn't like this episode, did not like that episode. But let's keep it a buck though. We see a lot of motherfuckers cross dressing in anime. Let's keep it a buck on. Now, there's a lot of motherfuckers that cross dress in anime right there. He ain't the first. damage ain't gonna be able to last right there. But it's like, guys, come on, like, but I'm sure y'all would change your minds when he fights. Pretty sure that's gonna be the case. You're gonna change your mind when he fights. Which yes, this gets us to the red light district where we're introduced to the Robot Ichak with Kaji and his crew. Like those guys were like will will kick your ass while dressing up nice right there. Like we got the swag and everything, but we'll still whoop your ass right there. Like, it was crazy. There's Ren Kaji and you got this guy Kaji. I'm like, well, this is Kanji. This is Kaji. Okay, cool. But no, Kanji and his crew right there. I said they got the swag, but whoop your ass though. And I appreciate. And their allies are Furin too. Like they're friends with Sabaki and everything like that. Um, Sakura saw some resemblance in Ume and Kanji because like no matter what we do, even if we lose, we're still gonna protect this town. And they don't have the numbers, but like they're still willing to put their okay, I guess being put their lives on the line is kind of pushing a little bit, like, but they're still ready like risk injuries to protect their town. I'll just say that right because it was during the time when they're trying to find that one girl, very name, but someone put like not a hit on her, but like saying like put a job request out there, like capture this girl, we'll pay you lots of money, right? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, hopefully in this the rally district we can actually see Shibaki actually fight, right? Which, all right, so one of the people that was looking for the girl, Suzuri, right? He was the leader of his crew right there, which had a lot of people, right? To have Suzuri be Sabaki's first opponent, fight like real first opponent, was great. Normally when you see like a high power character fight for the first time, now yeah, in a way, he was being these small timers, right? But like his first real fight was actually with a very strong opponent because we didn't know what Suzuri had, right? Suzuri is a bit of a walk on for us, right? But Suzuri and Sabaki, like that was a good fight. Like for her first real fight, and it wasn't easy for him. It wasn't easy for him. Like it was a pretty good fight. It was a damn good fight. It was a tough fight too. It was a tough fight too. And also, during that fight, right, we learned about Suzuri's past. Like to me, Suzuri is a person where it's like you gotta be thankful for what you have, right? Because where they came from, not a very nice area. Crime is up right there, full of delinquents there, with nowhere to go. Like money is very tight in the area, right? And back then, Suzuru, he would, get food for all of his friends to share, right? But as years goes on, more people. So it was harder for him to share his food, right? So he would take on jobs where it'll be enough to feed him and all his friends. Like what Suzuri had was numbers. That's why they were able to complete everything because they had the numbers that outplay their opponent, right? And Suzuri's crew had so much respect for him. Like I don't know if it's Sakura or Hayato. They said one of their guys go down, they don't really care. But when Suzuri goes down, it's like, oh, they actually care. They actually give a shit about somebody, right? And like I said, Suzuri did not want to lose because if I lose, I'm letting my friends down. I'm letting everybody down. That means you don't have no food. Like he is putting all the pressure on himself right there. Even though he was the antagonist for that one little moment right there, you have to respect it because, like I said, without me, they don't eat. We don't get shit right there. So it's like, yeah, he's going about the wrong way, but like Suzuri cares for his guys. Like you don't see many antagonists that care for their own people. No, Suzuri cares for his guys right there. And I always respect that about even though he's not a villain, he was a villain at the time. Like when the villain cares about the man right there, I appreciate that. Sabaki felt bad for him right there. Like she feels him. It's like, what do you do about my pain right there? You over here, you don't worry about what your meal's gonna be right there. You live in a nice area right there. You don't have as bad as much as we do, right? And we hear Ume start saying that they're having a conversation. Like I said, these now that I watch fights in anime right there, I'm like, especially when they're emotional, you're like, dang, I see where they're coming from right there. It's like every anime I watch, I'm like, damn, what conversation are they having right now? I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, you incorporate to like all anime fights right there, not just Windbreaker, but a lot of these fights. Like, for example, I talked about this recently. Was the Queen and the Boa fight? You hear Boa's pain and struggling against the fight because it's like she thought that Queen took something from that meant anything to her right there. Like you feel the pain and sorrow in her, which in the fight against Suzuri and Tsubaki, you have the same way. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm trying to fight for a friend right there. We ain't got nothing. You got everything handed to you right there. Like Tsubaki said sorry right there. She said sorry. She felt for him. She felt for him right there. And you know what? They did eventually get some, and Suzuri did eventually did a punch, but like, I'm sorry for what I did. It's not right. And so obviously, somebody paid him to do this, right? And this is where we get introduced to Endo, who is a big Furin legend, right? Everyone knows about him. Like I said, when Sabaki saw him, she was like, very like we always see Sabaki like always in the show, right? Just a puzzle they shot right now to see him, right? And I'm gonna just say this, like, even though we got a glimpse of him fighting, we already tell that Endo ain't the one to fuck with. Like, he was like firing off three people. He didn't fight them, but he was just dodging their attacks and everything, right? Or was it four? Like, I can't remember. Was it three? Or was it four? But nonetheless, though, like, you can already tell that Endo ain't the one to fuck with. You can tell that Endo is him. You can tell that the fact that like the fend off like three of those guys easily right there. The numbers are not for you. Their numbers are against you. But Endo was like, they say nothing, right? And also, when Sakura was getting ready to like to chase him right there, it was like this moment. It was like this moment where it's like, yo, Sakura got a little bit nervous and scared a little bit. I feel as though like Endo's aura right there was just Sakura was like, no, 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 like. Yeah, no, but I'm sure we'll be seeing Endo in season 3, hopefully. But after that final happened, Suzuri, they went up to Suzuri and everything right there. He's gonna work with them. Obviously they might not forget him, but they're gonna give him a second chance, and that's all good. But after that run in with Endo, the four kings and Umi, called Sakura, Neri, and Hayato over, right? And we learn about their past, how Fury used to be about area right there, fighting happens all the time right there. There was like no order until Umi and the four kings came into town right there. They would defeat the rival gangs, and when they defeat the rival gangs, they would join them, and then more people would join them, and then they would transfer into a peaceful town, right? Now Endo's group didn't like that. They wanted the old Fury. They want the chaos and everything to erupt, right? Well, they left on their own, but the thing is, Ume's group never beat them. Now, Ume did say I never fight them one on one. I just fought their group. That's different. Like, yeah, it was one of the first times where they actually, it looked like the four kids Ume are like unstoppable, right? No, and this group was able to well, Ume said there was no real winner. So at the end of the day, that's they can't do anything about that. But what's crazy is that they aren't the only one. Like, it's not just Endo's group. It is somebody else that's actually the real legend. Oh yeah, so I was saying, so we got the name for the real the major legend, that's Chika Takeshi. And I gotta say his little intro was a little bit cool because he's trying to fire fireworks. He wants it to be high enough, but he's piling up bodies to place the firework at a higher position right there, which is, I feel as though it's pretty crazy, right? But what the greatest one of the greatest things I like about this anime in season 2 is the fact that Sakura wants to protect the town. Like you said, oh, you scared? Well, now that coming here, it says the trouble for looking for, because now we just gotta wait till they make the move and we'll be ready. Because now, like I said, Sakura went from one to be number one, the best fighter, to actually protecting the town right there. Inume trusted him to be like, hey, you'll be taking Endo right there. He's like, it's good enough for me right there. And so that's how season 2 ends. But like, listen, my favorite moments, obviously the fights right there. I liked Sabaki. Like I said, I like getting introduced to another fourth king. Hopefully, we'll have more of the other two to we'll have more appearance in next season. I forgot to say this too. It's not just Sakura's group that I like. Neri, like I said, he wants to learn how to fight as well too. Yahayato taught him like in one move where it's like you gotta learn how to dodge first. The classic. Oh, let me be on the floor right there, have the person just trip over me right there, and that's about it. Like that's the only thing that Neri was taught right there from Hayato. So, like I said, I was saying that and I understand Neri's position right there. To be knowledgeable and know the situation, know the crews, know everyone's backstory, right? But it's like, will there be a moment where he actually has to fight for himself right there? And this was a slight start. Is gonna I don't want to say necessarily he's not gonna be a main fair or anything like that, but like we just gotta wait and see. But like I like the fact that he is still one to actually fight. The how about his friends right there. So there I'm excited to see that right there. Hayato, I still feel he might be having some little dark side because like I said, when he's like in the zone right there, like not being happy shit like that, it's a bit scary. Like I said, it's bad when Sakura had to tell you, chill. This person's had enough right there. So it's like, Hayato, man, what's going on in that brain of yours right there? What's going on right there, right? But overall, man, I thought season 2 was good. Trying to see, was this bad fight season 1? Oh man, I'm already having a breath right now. I'm having a breath for it. I am having a breath right now. Oh my god, I'm really having a brain fart right now. Season 1 and season 2. Oh my god, I'm sorry guys, I'm having a brain fart. Season 1 has some good fights. This one does too. But the fights better in season 1. I would say the new characters are getting introduced to are cooler than some of the season 1 characters, especially the antagonists right there. But I'm interested to see who Endo's group looks like too, like how they are right there. Like that'll be good. Like that'll be good. Now we don't know when we're gonna get season 3. That will take some time. But like I said, I thought this was a good season. Listen, no power up moves, no energy blasts and shit like that. Just straight, using our hands right there. Using our hands and our feet right there. Like I said, I enjoyed it. At the end of the year, I'll have a ranking for it. Where it'll be, I'm not quite sure yet. Now, did I have any dislikes I have with this season? Maybe my dislikes for anime now is the fact that a lot of animes are too short. They're just giving us 12 episodes. I feel as though 12 episodes might not be enough to animate anything right there, but they get paid for that stuff. That's their job. I can't do that, so I'm not gonna be like, yo, let me get away your job right there. But no, man. Like I said, I like that. Sakura goes to the growing place. Sakura is now like doesn't care about being around right there. He cares about his friends and his family. Like Furin is his town now. Everyone is my fan right here, so I'm gonna protect you guys. So, like I said, I really do enjoy that. Yeah, and like I said, just pretty much Endo and damn, I forgot this person's name again. What was his name again? Shigetachi. We want to say. Like I said, I feel as there's more to the story of the backstory of Fury right there. Maybe, hopefully, Endo will explain his story as well. We just gotta wait and see. But overall, though, good season. I liked it. April had a lot of firemen out right there, and this was definitely one of them right there. But hope you guys enjoyed the video right there. Be sure, to like the video. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired as well. Be sure to like the video. Be sure to comment on the video. Be sure to subscribe to be part of the family right there. Be sure to follow me in the social media accounts in the description box below. Also, be sure to watch, last episode of Nani, a podcast where we discuss season 3 of part 1 of Fire Force right there of me and Ralph right there. As always, folks, y'all have a good night. Y'all be safe. Remember what J. Cole said. There is no such thing as life better than yours. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.